illness is suppressing emotion and not letting yourself feel them. And so as icky and scary and unfun as it can be to let yourself feel negative emotions, when you can learn to detach the two from one another, this is such a healthy way to process unresolved emotion. Welcome. I don't know. Okay, let's try to present some information that might be useful and or knowledgeable. Okay, I am learning to separate my thoughts that I have with the feelings that I have. The thoughts that we have create reactions in our body, actual physiologically responses in our system, which then fuel more thoughts. And it's kind of like this that thing, you know, that it's like reactionary and spirals out of control, or at least makes us like angrier and sadder or guiltier and more shameful. And then pretty soon, you know, we're like diving into a jar of ice cream because we're stressed and anxious, or we're zoning out and we're turning the TV off to just kind of like shut the mind up, or we're falling asleep, or we can't get out of bed. It's like this is what happens to our world around us. This is what it looks like when we cannot control or become aware of or step into the thought and reactionary emotion. I don't care about really the difference right now between emotion and feelings. If you can catch what I'm putting down, that's what matters. Think bigger picture. Okay, so the thought creates an emotion or a feeling. So my mind, everybody's mind, tells our body, tells ourself stories. It tells plays. It tells lies. It projects ideas. It projects fears. Or it's remembering things that have happened. They could have been absolutely true. They could have just happened 20 minutes ago. They could have happened 20 years ago. But the mind gets stuck and caught on loops, and they can be triggered. Thoughts can be triggered by feeling anything, honestly. Anything can trigger a thought. But when that thought is triggered, it plays off of each other like a beautiful racquetball game. It'll just kind of go back and forth. The first step is realize when it's happening. And so whatever you need to do, whatever it takes to step into a realization of what is happening in the moment. It's like, I'm feeling angry, I'm fuming, I don't feel good. Anytime you don't feel good, you're probably caught up in a story and a feeling that goes along with that. And so if you can stop and use this power of observation that we're learning to tap into, and take a deep breath, stop. That is like turning the key into the ignition and giving the power to your body's system to be able to then manage and delegate to your own system where to go from here. And this is where you have the power to step in and out of traumatic responses. How else would I say that? This gives the body the power to take action towards a direction you'd rather be. So if you're feeling caca and you're ready to feel good more and more often, because it's time to be selfish and we need to feel way good way more often. Like we're flipped right now. We're feeling shitty more and pretty good not as often. So we need to flip that, because negative feelings have their place in this world, in this life, but we are off balance, absolutely and for sure. So stop fixating on the negative thought. So separating the thought and the feeling, we're going to say, okay, my mind is telling a story, my mind is doing this, and what we've been caught in before and what can sometimes be helpful, but not in this moment. It is not helpful when we're having this moment of intense feelings towards something. It is not helpful to continue thinking about that. And I've been myself stuck in doing this multiple ways, both by just not realizing that I'm having a narrative or a story or an idea play out in my head that's causing this feeling. Oh, okay, so once I caught that I'm doing that. The second one was, okay, well then let's explore it. Why am I having this thought right now? And I would use therapy techniques to go into this negative emotion and try to explore it. Where did it come from? When did I first feel this way? Blah, 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 blah. Okay, but that's not the best time to do it, okay? So you can still do it, and if it's helpful and if it's helpful, do it, that's fine. But what I'm saying is there is a better time, when you do it in a different space where you first that's what it is. You first deal with the emotion and the feeling, and you let the body, this is where we're separating them, we let the body go through that emotion. But we don't attach a story to it. We don't need to. Why do you need to attach a story right this very instant to it? You can attach it later to therapize yourself to better whatever. You don't need to do it right now. Right now, you need to give your brain an activity that takes it off of the loop. Okay, so you can decide whatever you want to do that feels better in that moment to actively, and this is you parenting yourself. So this isn't you just giving yourself excuses to start drinking or things that are super negative for your health, which, drinking isn't always super negative for your health. I drink on occasion and I love it. I'm not about to change that today. We'll see later. But don't dive into super harmful activities. This is where we would parent our child and say, what can I do? My child is obviously freaking out over something, and what would I do right now to help my child redirect that brain activity? Same thing that you would do with a dog is when they're aggressive, you don't get more aggressive and shove a bunch of pills down their throat and say, deal with this. That's not the way you would parent, or shouldn't be parenting. You should give them something healthy, give your brain something healthy to redirect it to. Even if it's just for a little bit, it honestly is a big help, because it helps break your brain off of the train track that it's on. It's literally stuck, and you have to get it off of this track and put it onto something else. So you can, pull out some markers and crayons and paper. You could pull out a pen and sketch. You could go for a walk. You could literally turn on the TV, set the timer for 20 minutes, turn the TV on for 20 minutes, and just distract yourself and from the narrative that's going on. But then you leave space and create space, give space to the feeling. So don't chase the feeling away necessarily, because that is along the lines of suppression, and that's not healthy. That's what creates sickness and disease and illness, is suppressing emotion and not letting yourself feel them. And so as icky and scary and unfun as it can be to let yourself feel negative emotions, when you can learn to detach the two from one another, this is such a healthy way to process unresolved emotion. So you're just letting the body feel, and you start to just almost tune into the emotion, as if you were to give that emotion something artistic to do, express itself. How would this sound in a song right now? Turn some music on. How does this emotion feel? Describe it, but without the storytelling, without, I feel this way because of Brad, or I feel this way because of Carrie, or I feel this way because of my boss, or I feel this way because I'm stupid and worthless. It's no, that's the story, that's the narrative, that's what we're detaching, that's what we're getting our mind off of. Okay, but then this feeling, it feels it feels heavy, it feels gross. I just want to break something. Describe it and give it something artistic to do, and see if that helps, because I promise you, could do wonders for your body. I am Meg. This is Life's a Bee, and you don't have to do it alone, so let's navigate that ship together. Peace.